Really, Sarah, you can't come dressed like that. My sister Jessica wrinkled her nose at my simple black dress as if it personally offended her. This is a high-class event. Everyone who's anyone will be there. Maybe next time, when you can afford proper attire. I glanced down at my dress, a beautifully tailored Chanel that probably cost more than her monthly mortgage, but Jessica wouldn't recognize quality unless it had obvious logos and sparkles. I'm Sarah Chen, though my employees know me only as SC, Zhang, the reclusive CEO of Zhang Innovations. And Jessica's rich husband Nathan? He's been my chief operating officer for the past 5 years, never knowing his boss was his sister-in-law. How did we get here? Well, that's quite a story. 10 years ago, Jessica and I were both fresh out of college. I had a computer science degree and big dreams of starting my own tech company. Jessica had a marketing degree and bigger dreams of marrying rich. You're wasting your time with all this coding stuff, she'd tell me. The real money is in finding someone who already has money. Our parents had passed away in a car accident during our teenage years, leaving us with modest life insurance policies. Jessica used hers to buy designer clothes and network at upscale events. I used mine to fund my startup, living in a tiny apartment and working endless hours. Jessica found her success first. She met Nathan Williams at a charity gala she'd spent a month's salary to attend. He was a rising executive at a major tech firm, making 6 figures and climbing the corporate ladder. Within 6 months, they were married. See? She gloated during their lavish wedding. This is what success looks like. Not sitting alone in your apartment writing computer programs no one will ever use. What Jessica didn't know was that by then, my computer programs had already caught the attention of major investors. I'd developed an AI-driven security system that could adapt to new threats in real time. Silicon Valley was very interested. But I'd learned something from watching other tech founders. The moment people knew you had money, everyone wanted something from you. So I made a decision. Sarah Chen would appear to be a moderately successful programmer, while SC, Zhang would be the mysterious CEO building a tech empire. I used my Chinese grandmother's maiden name, Zhang, and cultivated an image of being intensely private. No photos, no public appearances. All business was conducted through representatives or video calls where I used voice modulation and kept my camera off. The company grew rapidly. Within 3 years, Zhang Innovations was a major player in cybersecurity. Our technology protected everything from bank transactions to government communications. Then came an interesting opportunity. Nathan's company was failing, unable to compete with newer technologies, specifically mine. They were looking for a buyer, and I was looking to expand. I acquired the company through a subsidiary, keeping the existing management team but requiring them to report directly to SC, Zhang. Nathan was promoted to COO, a position that required weekly video calls with his mysterious boss. Jessica was thrilled. Nathan's making even more money now, she bragged at every family gathering. His new boss must really recognize his talent. Actually, I recognized that Nathan was competent when he wasn't being influenced by his wife's materialism. Under my guidance, he became a better executive than I'd expected. But Jessica's attitude got worse with each success. She began excluding me from family events, claiming I wouldn't fit in with their wealthy friends. Each invitation came with thinly veiled insults about my presumed poverty. We're having a small dinner party, just couples, you understand. Maybe when you finally find someone, though it might be hard given your circumstances. I dated occasionally but never seriously. It's hard to have a relationship when you're hiding that you're a billionaire CEO. Besides, I was too busy building something bigger than Jessica could imagine. Which brings us to tonight, the grand party Jessica's been planning for months to celebrate Nathan's 5 years as COO. She'd made it clear I wasn't welcome. It's really not your scene, Sarah. These are all highly successful people. I wouldn't want you to feel uncomfortable. What Jessica didn't know was that as COO, Nathan was required to invite his boss to any major company-related celebrations. He'd been nervously trying to convince the mysterious SC, Zhang, to attend for weeks. I decided it was finally time to merge my two identities. I arrived at the party exactly on time, dressed in my inappropriate Chanel. Jessica was greeting guests at the door, her smile freezing when she saw me. Sarah, I thought I explained. Oh, don't worry, I said sweetly. I'm not here as your sister, I'm here as Nathan's boss. Her perfectly made-up face went blank. What? You know, SC, Zhang? Nathan's been trying to get me to attend an event for years. I thought this was the perfect opportunity. You can't be, that's impossible. Just then, Nathan hurried over. Jessica, honey, SC, Zhang is finally coming to one of our events. I just got a message. Hello, Nathan, I said, using the modulated voice he'd heard in hundreds of video calls. His drink slipped from his hand, splashing his expensive shoes. No, Jessica whispered. No, no, no. But it got better. You see, I hadn't just come to reveal my identity, I'd come to announce some major company changes. I stepped up to the microphone that had been set up for speeches. The room quieted as I began to speak, first in my modulated voice, then in my natural one. Good evening, everyone. I'm SC Zhang, CEO of Zhang Innovations. Some of you may also know me as Sarah Chen. Today, I'm excited to announce that Zhang Innovations is going public. The room erupted in murmurs. Our IPO had been the subject of speculation for years. As part of this transition, we'll be implementing a new executive stock program. Every employee who's been with us for 5 years or more will receive significant stock options. Nathan, as our COO, you're entitled to quite a substantial package. Nathan was staring at me like he'd seen a ghost. Jessica looked like she might faint. I want to thank Nathan for his excellent work these past 5 years. He's proven himself to be a valuable leader, despite some, I glanced at my sister, potentially negative influences. The room broke into applause. Nathan's colleagues crowded around him with congratulations, while Jessica stood frozen in place. By the way, Jessica, I added quietly as I passed her, this inappropriate dress? It's worth more than your car, but unlike you, I don't feel the need to broadcast my success. The aftermath was interesting. Nathan, once he got over his shock, proved to be even more effective now that he could interact with his CEO directly. He also began standing up to Jessica's materialistic demands, perhaps realizing that flaunting wealth wasn't the same as having it. Jessica had a harder time adjusting. Her carefully constructed social hierarchy had been shattered. She oscillated between trying to claim credit for my success, I always supported my sister's dreams, and attempting to justify her past behavior. I just wanted you to strive for more, she protested during one particularly heated discussion. How was I supposed to know you were already successful? That's exactly the point, I replied. You judged me entirely on appearances. You never once asked about my work or my goals. You were so busy showing off your husband's success that you couldn't see mine. The company's IPO was a tremendous success. Zhang Innovations' stock price doubled on the first day of trading. Nathan's stock options were worth millions, though I noticed he began dressing more simply and driving a more modest car. Jessica tried to capitalize on being the CEO's sister, but found that the wealthy circles she'd tried so hard to impress were more interested in authentic achievement than showy displays of wealth. 5 years later, Zhang Innovations has become one of the most respected companies in tech. We're known not just for our technology, but for our corporate culture that values substance over appearance. Nathan has grown into a truly excellent executive, though he still blushes whenever someone mentions his early interactions with his mystery boss. He and Jessica are in marriage counseling, working through the materialistic values that nearly ruined their relationship. Jessica has undergone the most dramatic transformation. After the initial shock wore off, she went back to school for a computer science degree. She now runs our charitable foundation, focusing on educational opportunities for underprivileged students. I was so wrong, she admitted recently. Success isn't about what you can show off, it's about what you can build and who you can help. I kept my simple lifestyle, though I did finally buy my dream house, a modest craftsman with a state-of-the-art home automation system I designed myself. Jessica occasionally teases me about living below my means, but now it's with understanding rather than disdain. The company's story became a case study in business schools, but not for the reasons Jessica might have once appreciated. They study our emphasis on substance over show, our policy of judging people by their contributions rather than their connections. We still have the video of Nathan's face when he realized his boss was his sister-in-law. It plays at company parties sometimes, though only when Jessica isn't around. She's still a bit sensitive about her past behavior. The most remarkable change wasn't in our bank accounts or stock prices, it was in how we defined success. Jessica learned that true wealth isn't about showing off or putting others down. Nathan discovered that authentic leadership means more than just climbing the corporate ladder. Our parents would be proud, I think, not of the money or the company's success, but of how we finally became the sisters they'd hoped we'd be. Jessica and I are closer now than ever before, bonding over late-night coding sessions and tech conferences. She still occasionally slips into her old habits of judging by appearances, but now she catches herself. Last week, she interviewed a job candidate who came in wearing simple clothes but had brilliant ideas. You know who she reminded me of? Jessica told me later. I almost made the same mistake again, but then I remembered, never judge someone by their clothes. They might just be a secret billionaire. We both laughed, but the lesson was clear. Success isn't about what you can show off, it's about what you can show up and do. Zhang Innovations continues to grow, but we maintain our culture of valuing substance over style. Every new employee hears the story of the COO who didn't know his boss was his sister-in-law, though we've turned it into a lesson about assumptions and authentic leadership. Jessica now mentors young entrepreneurs, specifically helping them avoid the materialistic traps she once set for others. She's become known for her catchphrase, "If you're focused on looking successful, you're not focused on being successful." Nathan has become one of our most effective executives, known for his ability to spot genuine talent regardless of packaging. He jokes that he had an unfair advantage, learning the hard way that appearances can be deceiving. The biggest surprise, but perhaps the most satisfying outcome, wasn't the money or the success or even the personal growth. It was the realization that sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about helping others see a better way. Jessica and I now host joint events where we share our story, encouraging young professionals to focus on creating value rather than displaying wealth. The irony of us co-hosting events after she once excluded me isn't lost on anyone. As for those expensive designer clothes Jessica once thought defined success, they're now part of a company program that provides interview outfits to job seekers in need, because sometimes, the best way to prove appearances don't matter is to help others get past them too.